Hi, I'm Gunasis. I am a design strategist and illustration artist by profession, but on some days I like making films as well. So in this video, you'll see regular people like you and me, and also not like you and me, trying to unpack the various concepts that revolve around love in the time of feminism.
We now understand that consent is not as simple as no means no.
It's not black and white, it's got a lot of gray spaces.
To very simply just ask and not assume.
You just want to make sure that whatever you want to do excitedly is also something that your partner also wants to do.
Both of you knowing what you're getting into.
Say a consent would be definite yes. I think that's how it should be, that's how it should be taken.
It's not just the absence of saying no, but it's also the willingness to say yes.
Women see someone is not vibing as much as you are, to just ask. Driven by curiosity, to know.
It's always extremely important to check in if you're not sure.
I often use the word active while describing consent. Be informed, it should definitely be coming from a place of a lot of willingness. And when I say informed, I mean like both parties should have enough and accurate information about the situation.
Between you and your partner, you should be clear about engaging meaningfully with each other.
The concept of consent of the past 10 years has at least percolated the elite circles.
The conversation of consent was so required that even our mothers spoke about it. We also realized as adults, heterosexual females, that for the longest times we were not heard. Our consent was never taken, or it was not even respected. So
In the past 10 years, I feel what we mostly talked about or what we mostly figured out is what is not consent.
Our understanding of consent, thanks to like all the discourse that we have had on social media, has really expanded in the last decade.
In the past 10 years, I think I've gone from not knowing what it was at all to like now maybe having a better understanding of it. I think it's a complex area to navigate.
And people who want to know about it, are trying to learn more about it, are at it. But at the same time, there's a huge majority that does not know anything about it.
I think the lines with a lot of toxic ideas about love and lust were corrupting what we thought about affection or show of affection.
There are just situations and times where I feel like it's impossible to navigate a yes and no response.
There are so many things that go unsaid.
overall, I won't say this is the best, but like I really appreciate how the conversations have evolved over the last 10 years.
And also in generally in the world, I think this is something that has become a topic of conversation, something that people are thinking about.
It's not huge, it's finding its way.
And that's great because only when you're thinking about something can you move on to the next step, which is accurately practicing it as well.
I think chivalry is just a glorified way of like a lot of just basic manners, you know?
This is kindness. Chivalry is kindness.
Gesture of being kind, polite, nice, is for everyone.
I just think chivalry is an extended form of compassion.
Regardless of your gender, if you drag a chair, it's nice, it's kind.
If everyone opens the door for everyone, I think that's the best. And everyone opens their own door, it's great, it's even better.
So chivalry has, I have realized over the years, been quite the expectation from a man.
Its origins are in something that's actually quite sexist. Men were designated protectors of women under the assumption that they cannot protect themselves.
Having expectations from this masculine gender to actually, for example, open a door, be a stronger person, not be effeminate, these put like patriarchal pressure.
I think if somebody wants to be chivalrous, I think they should come from a place where they are allowing me the space to express what I really want, instead of assuming that XYZ behavior is something that I would appreciate, because I may not.
Chivalry, if it only extends to like women that are being pursued romantically or sexually, that's I don't know.
A lot of times people keep associating this to opening doors for people, dragging some chair.
Chivalry necessarily to me doesn't mean holding the door or offering your handkerchief to somebody. I mean, yes, those are good gestures to do.
1950s में या 1940s में ये conversation रही होगी that, you know, where the guys are being appreciated for opening the doors because there was this perception that women are not strong enough or they cannot do that for themselves.
As we commonly understand it, is like, okay, a man's gonna pay on a date. It comes from a time when women could not earn on their own.
Those antiquated, nuanced expectations, we can do away with that and move to a more evolved understanding of chivalry.
Some aspects of chivalry are positive. There's nothing wrong with being, protective, with being kind, and with doing nice gestures for someone.
At the end of the day, if you are able to show a little bit of compassion and you're in sync with your partner and you're able to understand what they need of you at that moment, I think that should be the modern day definition of chivalry.
I know it's very basic, but very, very basic equal rights is what feminism means to me.
Feminism for me in a daily life would be me trying to figure out where I have particular biases.
The personal aspects of our life can often be extremely political. Feminism governs so many aspects of our life.
Feminism is a thing or a concept I've also struggled to understand.
If I'm given something, think why am I being given this and why are the people not getting it? Like even car seats are designed according to men and not women, just to be curious and understand it.
It is just something that's such a big part of me. So like for me, often even to like look at something online and then I always like will analyze it with that lens, and I'll be like, okay, this is problematic because I'm seeing it from maybe a feminist point of view.
I mean, at any point of time in my day, अगर मुझे question किया जा रहा है that like, you know, this is not something that you can do because you belong to a certain gender, or like, you know, because you're a female or you're a girl or you're a woman. ये question कभी आना ही नहीं चाहिए.
And I've had notions of how so-called man should be and how a woman should be, and these were very patriarchal ideas that I had growing up. It has taken a lot of debate, a lot of understanding, and that has really helped me understand where I've had at least hypocrisy when it comes to how my sisters can be and how a brother could have been.
When I think about feminism and men in particular, I think that feminism really aims to remedy all the toxic, horrible experiences that men have to go through on account of patriarchy as well.
One thing I would like to point out in particular was that there were a lot of issues and things that I took for granted and did not give a second thought to, either in my relationship or in my day-to-day interactions. Once you start becoming sensitized to the concept of feminism, from the point of being sensitized on the topic to the point about consciously trying to inculcate it in your decisions is a journey in itself. As a man, I'm still on that journey every day.
Love. What does love mean?
I think the only thing a Bollywood movie's got right for me is that pyar dosti hai.
Love is like a big warm hug at the end of the day.
A lot of people see love as something that is entirely beyond their control and something that you just fall into.
Yeah, love's not like a very healthy Caesar salad. It's not like chole bhature either. It's somewhere in the middle. It moves its way through a spectrum.
I think I'm going to make this short. Love means respect.
Love is almost synonymous to care.
For me to be in love with somebody, I have to absolutely be friends with them. And then, of course, friendship itself means a lot of things. It means holding space for the other person to make mistakes, holding them accountable.
When compatibility exists and all the basic ingredients are there, love is about the commitment to growing together.
You realize over a period of time, rather than having very high highs and very low lows, you want to come to a nice high plateau of being calm, being comforted, and being there for your partner. And that stable, constant, comforting feeling is what love is for me.
In Jungian terms, there used to be this analogy where a person would be very nice to the world, but be terrible to their loved ones. The shadow side, in Jungian terms, is what the family sees a lot of the times. To not show them that, to give them respect.
Lot of work that you're choosing to do over and over again so that you respect this person, so that you keep this person in your life. That's it. That is love.
Like a mutual agreement to overcome any obstacles that come your way and, well, ideally spend your life together.
A lot of things earlier were considered either specifically to be a man's domain or a woman's domain.
During our teenage years, when we were ideally told that the guy is supposed to come to you and he is supposed to woo you, or he has to ask you for a date. Like, it starts from that.
As a teenager and in my early 20s, kind of starting out with dating and relationships, I almost automatically, like, it's a part of my conditioning to just take on like a very nurturing role.
People have spoken to me coming from a place where I know they're speaking to me differently because of my gender.
With things moving as they are in today's time, feminism becoming more pervasive in our culture, the way relationships are carried out between partners are also changing.
In a relationship, being told that, oh, we do want to drop you. One would say that this is an example of chivalry, and sure, but like, my point is that if I am saying I'm okay to travel on my own alone at night, I'm okay to travel on my own alone at night. I don't want to be like pushed into accepting help that I personally don't think I need.
We are taught that in order to be a good woman, it's important to display all these attributes. And if you don't, then you're not going to be desirable.
You should not just have an expectation from another person by virtue of them being of another gender. Whenever we communicate with each other, and if we have expectations of each other, we explain our reasons. For example, I would not want my partner or my wife to manage the house entirely just because she's a woman. That is not entirely her domain. Men also have to share the load.
Longest time we were told that the big romantic gestures are also to be done by the boys and things like that. So all of that, at least I try to actively do it while I'm in a relationship, asking for a date if I'm interested in someone, or to even, I don't know, doing grand gestures if I really like this person.
It was a really long process trying to like unlearn that and to be able to learn to like prioritize myself. It just plays in the back of your mind, even as a conscious, educated, opinionated woman. It's still something that happens as a form of reflex, leaves you wondering like, why did I behave like that? I should have thought about myself in those situations.
Even have very difficult conversations with my partner, in the sense where I want to say that, hey, this was difficult for me. This is where I'm feeling that I'm not equal. So yeah, those are very difficult conversations, but karna to padega. As I said, इतना ज़्यादा ingrained gender roles है कि हमें भी उसको निकालने में बहुत ज़्यादा time लगता है.
Yeah, I think it's really important to examine how social conditioning and gender roles have been ingrained into you. Understand to what extent that is something that's just automatic, or it's something that you want to do that makes you happy, not as a default.
A big thank you to everybody who took out time especially to record their answers. So while watching the videos of everybody, there was just so much that kind of felt like They have articulated exactly what I feel, and they've said it so nicely. A lot of it I just did not want to cut out because it was important. So I decided to divide the video into 2 parts. I guess it just feels nice to know that somebody else is also kind of having similar experiences and is also facing the same disappointments. It's just nice to share, just talk about something. It's important to talk. I hope you like it. I hope you resonate with something or the other. Whatever it is, let us know in the comments below.